Welcome to Infinity Capital, everyone. This is Raj. So let's talk about another auto ancillary company, Lumax Auto Technologies. So Lumax was incorporated in 1981. It's a part of the DK Jain group of companies, right? So it's engaged in the business of manufacturing automotive lamps, plastic molded parts, frame, chassis, to two, three wheelers, four wheeler segments. They also have partnerships with seven global players, so Yokowo, Japan, Chop, Germany, and few others. So these partnerships are pretty integral because they get the IP and the technical know-how from these partners, and then they give some sort of rights or patent fees to these companies. How they benefit from this is that they have exclusivity in terms of products. They have better quality product, and nobody else is making those kind of products in India. So that's how they sort of gain market share. Their products are better, and hence they have a good pricing power in the market. So these are the benefits of partnering with global players. Most auto ancillary companies will have partnership with global players. Even big companies, big auto companies, like if you see, earlier it was Hero Honda, then they went on their own. Earlier there was Maruti Suzuki. They still have they still have some sort of IP with Suzuki. Suzuki owns some amount of stock in the company, right? So I think Mahindra did a partnership with another company. I don't remember the name right now. So these partnerships are extremely important. So what sort of leadership do they have? So gear shifters, they have around 70% market share, right? And they did this partnership with this Yokowo firm for for supply of antennas and stuff. And for gear shifters, they did the partnership with Job from Germany, and this has resulted in them getting 70% market share in the gear shifter market. So their customers are Bajaj Auto, Lumax Industries, Maruti Suzuki, you know. So these are the top three customers from which they get 65% of their revenue. So who are they catering to? Segment two-wheeler, electrical and electronic components, gear shifters, oxygen sensors, few others. These are the products that they are making. Molded parts make 30% of their revenue. Chassis and frames make 16% of their revenue. Lightings make 30% of their revenue, right? And gear shifters make 11% of their revenue. Now, 48% of this revenue actually comes from two wheelers and three wheelers, which this segment is most likely to revive earlier than four wheelers, right? Because it's a low ticket item, and if we have a good monsoon and good crop going forward in the next 2 quarters, we will highly likely see a demand revival in two and three wheelers in a big way. Okay. All right. Apart from that, they have around 21,000 touch points, 50,000 retail touch points. That's pretty good. For a company like this, they need to be well penetrated in the market, good supply chain system, right? Okay. Promoters hold 56%, FIIs 19%, DIIs 6%. Good amount of participation from institutions. Around 18% of the stock is available to be traded freely in the market. The company has been generating cash flows from operations, right? So 98 crores of cash flow from operations, pretty good. 52 crores of loan borrowings on 1100 crores. So it's pretty much nothing, right? It's like 5% of the total market cap. It's pretty all right. They have around 131 crores of investments, 98 crores of cash on the books, so 10% as compared to the 10% of the market cap is in form of cash on the books. So pretty strong balance sheet, no dilution of equity from the promoters. Very, very, very good. What do we have here? In terms of sales, the sales have not gone anywhere, but the good thing is, even though there was a pandemic, there was a dip in margins, and then the margins are back to 9%. If you see, their margins have been stable. So this goes to show that they have some sort of pricing power in the in the products that they are making. So if you would like to buy this stock for long term, you could do a deep dive and understand what sort of pricing power do they have. It most likely comes from the products that they make with respect to the JV that they do with international companies. So ideally, the JV gives them an advantage because probably there are no other players in the market, or even if there are players, they are not making products which are top quality. That is the reason they get pricing power in the market, right? So they did 47 crores of profits March 2021. So tad bit lower as compared to 2020, but pretty okay if we compare that we've had a very bad pandemic here, and then first 3-4 months we've had severe lockdowns. It's pretty good in my opinion. March numbers were good, sales were higher, profits were up, and last June quarter, they posted losses. So if we get a positive quarter, we can expect a sudden movement in price, very quick movement in price. On a PE front, the median PE is around 18. Stock is trading around 22, 23. Pretty decently valued right now, in my opinion. Let's do a check, technical analysis check. So what happened? Like most auto ancillary companies, this corrected by 80%. Then it staged a beautiful recovery. It's up around 200% from its all-time low. Not all-time low, sorry, from the COVID low. So what's happening now? Stock is basically consolidating in this range, in this 22% range. Okay, and there are this particular area of consolidation is where we can start accumulating the stock. Let's look on our left at the moving averages. 50-day moving averages turned sideways. 200-day moving averages turned upwards, which is a very good sign. Trend is up, okay, from a technical point of view. Now, what do we do here? Like, what's the trade? So I'm going to start accumulating the stock between 150 and 170, right, in the next few weeks. Okay, and this would be the point between which I'll start accumulating the stock. What sort of targets can we see in this company? So, all right. So if you see, this is the area between which the stock has traded for a very long time, basically this whole area. And then it broke down. So we'll see selling pressure. Moment the stock goes up, we'll see selling pressure coming in, right? Because these people have been stuck since 2018. It's been more than 3 years. So whenever the stock goes up, we'll see some sort of selling pressure. So if you'll see, stock went up and then it felt selling pressure, it came down. Now the stock is trying to go up again. We'll see how it moves. So we are going to keep it for the next 2 quarters, and we'll see what sort of earnings are coming in. June quarter earnings are going to come in the next 30-40 days. So we are going to compare it with the whole industry, all the auto ancillaries, the auto numbers, and try and figure out what could play out in the next 2 quarters, right? Overall, we can expect good recovery coming in. Last year was a watershed, sort of like a water wash year. It was a bad year. The first 2 quarters have also been pretty bad. So we can expect very sharp recovery in businesses going forward. Auto loans, two-wheeler loans, prices have been slashed. That will also act as sort of a support for this industry, right? So accumulating between 160 and 150. Immediately, I mean, I would not like to sell it over near all-time high. I'd like to wait because the way the whole auto ancillary segment is moving, we can see very huge upside coming in this sector. The fact that the stock has not done anything since 2017, if we see 2-3 quarters of good numbers, we'll see good re-rating in the industry, and these stocks can very quickly go very high. So we'll have to wait and watch. Currently, the accumulation point is between 160 and 150. That's where I'll start accumulating. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Quick disclaimer, this is not a buy sell recommendation. This video is for educational purposes only.